Hey everybody, how are you guys doing today? Today I am joined by Jerry Lee Medeiros, and I am Jeff Fuller, and we are both here with the Embroidery Nerd. And we actually have Nancy from Madeira in the wings here. I'm going to bring her in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and read off a short bio for her. So Nancy is Madeira's USA's Senior Marketing Coordinator and Product Specialist at Madeira USA's headquarters in New Hampshire. Self-taught to run single and multi-head commercial embroidery machines, she problem solves, creates stitch outs for illustrating articles in trade press. As a product expert, she often leads internal product trainings and is Madeira's go-to person when products need testing, and is often called upon to help customers overcome embroidery challenges. So we're really excited to have her here, and I'm going to go ahead and bring her in. And hello, Nancy. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing well, Jeff. Thank you for having me here today.
Welcome. We're so glad to have you here, Nancy. Thank you so much.
I'm going to move you up into the corner there so that when I bring in comments, you're not going to get comments over your face. I'll have them over my face today. I volunteer. So we have a couple people here already. We have Mike Muldowney from Canada. Sally Davis here from the UK.
Hello.
And Frank Dunn here from,
Good evening, Frank.
He's also in the UK. That's pretty late over there. We have Letty Walker. Hi guys, Letty here. Crystal, hey, not only am catching this live for once, but I'm also kid-free, double win. Awesome. And we have Belle here from Tennessee. So if you guys have questions for Nancy and you want to ask them in the chat, you can feel free to do that as well. I'm going to pull up Justin here because he's not live, but we still like Justin, so we'll bring it in.
Work.
I have a couple of questions to get us started here. How did you get started in the industry, Nancy?
Well, I started here actually 21 years ago, and a funny story is that I literally lived a 5-minute walk from our original location here in Laconia, and really never even knew that, I saw the name, didn't know what they did, raised my kids at home. And once they got up into their teenage years, they certainly didn't need me hanging around the house. So I started looking for a job, and Madeira was looking for somebody in the mailroom. So I was sending out the samples when I first started here. So just over the years, I have progressed up from the mailroom. Learned how to run the machines here, and just doing the samples was actually a great introduction to the industry, meaning that I assembled the samples and I mailed out the samples. So I literally touched everything we had on a regular basis. And that's what kind of, got me familiar with the products. And certainly I'm a crafty person by heart. I like a lot of artistic things, whether it's drawing, sewing was big in my background. So it was kind of a natural transition to learn how to do the machines and just understand all the products. And here I am today.
Nice.
I mean, I think a lot of people get started from the crafty area because
For sure.
I know my very first machine was a single needle machine, and I started, I was going to the quilt shop, and it progressed pretty quickly from there. But I think, crafting directly segues into embroidery. It's just more expensive.
Yes, definitely.
It is. Well, sure. I don't know. Did you say expensive or extensive?
Expensive.
Well, I started with a single needle too. It was called a Husqvarna. That was not cheap, people. I started there, and I love, though, let me go back, Nancy, I love the mailroom story. I mean, like, that is the proverbial, like, classic fable of how I started in the mailroom and worked my way up. So that's really cool. I started with a Husqvarna, also a single needle. And I was told that with my Husqvarna and that, I don't even know if I can call it digitizing software, but that program, that I could compete with the people who had Tajimas. And they named Tajimas in their garages. And I thought, what fools those people are who have those big old machines. I can do it with a Husqvarna. Well, 3 Husqvarnas later, and about 30 grand, I got smart and put a Tajima in my garage too. So
yeah.
I mean, so you started in the mailroom, and now let me read this. Senior product. Senior marketing coordinator and product specialist. So you've just got a few more levels to go, and you'll be running the company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
VP is next, I think. I
Wow.
see that coming in my near future.
Wait, there you go for anybody at Madeira watching.
Yeah, they need to know.
For sure.
So what do you like the most about working at Madeira?
The freedom of my position here. Marketing and product specialist is pretty diverse. I mean, they work together for sure, but they're pretty diverse. And I think that kind of describes my job in a nutshell. I can embroider pretty things. I can, testing is always being done. But marketing is fun and embroidery is fun. So I think, I like that. And it really is just a great company to work for. The family atmosphere, a family atmosphere in a corporate company is, can be unique. And it certainly feels that way here. And, it's local. So it's really fun. We did move. So now I have to drive to work. But, I got a nice new car out of it. So that worked out well.
There you go.
Well, did Madeira start as a family company? I mean, like, what started that feel?
I mean, we're in New Hampshire. We're up in, the rural areas of,
It's just good people, good neighbors, kind of like
good people, good neighbors. A lot of people, everybody knows everybody up here pretty much. I mean, we only have so many people here in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to make it sound that small, but Laconia is where we are. Well, Guilford is where the company is now, but Laconia is the Lakes region. I mean, it's beautiful here. And the people are good. They're nice. And, it's, I mean, it literally started out probably close to 40 years now when Madeira USA came to be with Ken Page, who was the original partner with Madeira and owned it with his family. And they have since moved on. And, now it's Madeira's, where the U.S. division of, a worldwide company.
Nice.
And with the top of the line. So, I mean, that's always good too.
Well, that's important. That's what's important.
It is.
So I'm going to grab a couple more comments here. We have Sally saying it's quite early, 7 p.m. We have Cindy King joining us from Odessa.
Hi, Cindy.
Belle loves Madeira. I'm a pretty big Madeira fan myself.
I am too.
Ramona, I'm late. Been looking forward to this interview. Hello, Nancy.
Just on time.
And Sally, sounds familiar. I had a Husqvarna and was told I didn't need any other software. I think that's the salesperson in the machine salesman. You've got this. This is everything you need. So. And we have Amelia saying hello. So I know you talked about you do Facebook Lives. Is it once a week, every Thursday, or is it every other week?
We don't have, it's always on a Thursday. So we do that. And we're actually a little behind in getting our schedule together. So we don't have one right now beyond this Thursdays, but that's next on our list to do. We simply, we ask our internal people, what are people asking for? We try to, ask our customers ourselves at the shows and things like that. And, you're always getting a vibe about what people would really like. Or it could be just anything simple. But as far as a schedule, I mean, trying to do, say, 4 to 5 within a quarter is kind of reasonable and doable. So that's what we strive for.
I really look for that.
Fit it in. I mean, sometimes it's a 2-week process preparing. Other times it's a 1-day process, just to put it together, just depending on what you're talking about.
So that's what drives it then, is whatever the project is will drive when it's scheduled. Okay.
I mean, it could be seasonal, or, it could be, this one's all about pink, and, we're trying to support the breast cancer awareness. Because it just touches so many people, and we have thread collections to work with for sure. But pink is my favorite color personally, so it was certainly fun creating different projects, and I try to throw in the different techniques that are out there.
You're the first person, though, I'll admit, that I've ever heard say pink is their favorite color. That's the first ever for me. Ever. I've heard a lot of others, but not pink.
Yeah, I know. It's not. I mean, it's not my favorite color to wear so much, but I've worn a lot of it this
But you like
month.
to stitch with it more, create with it, and like you like to stitch and design and create with it more.
I do. Yeah. I mean, I like the color, but certainly doing embroidery with pink is fun. I mean, these projects that I did for this Facebook Live they were just fun.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
And what time is that on Thursday Eastern?
2:00, 2 Eastern Standard Time. Yep.
Okay, so now I can't help but ask, because I can see it in your background. You have the spreading awareness. I can just read spreading awareness and hope. There we go. So that's your pink color set. When you guys make a set of colors, are you the one that picks those out, or is it just kind of a...
We picked these particular thread kits colors out probably 10 plus years ago.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure that I was involved in picking those colors out, and they have evolved a little bit from time to time, just because Madeira has, over the past 10 to 12 years, we've added new colors here or there, discontinued very few, but mostly added so we could get those colors in. And these particular kits that we put out there, we're doing the pink this month because, for obvious reasons, but, in March, we're going to throw our green thread, our green collection out there. So we try to do it seasonally, but they really are available year round. And our customers love thread collections.
Yes.
So, to answer your question in a long way, yes, I'm sure I had some participation in making those colors out.
See, and now I feel bad because I thought you just barely put them together not 10 years ago.
That's really cool that you've been running that. Has it been the pink collection, or was it always cancer awareness collection 10 years ago?
It started out as a pink, and it'll go back to our shades of pink. So essentially, there's anything from a real dark magenta down to the palest baby pink that you can think of, and 12 colors in between there.
Wow.
Because I mean, pink is not always pink. It can be, it can have yellows in it. It can have blues in it. And there's just a lot of different shades in there. So it'll go back to our Flamingo, which is the cover that's on there.
So that's the name of it. If somebody wants to order that 11 months out of the year, it's Flamingo. And in October, it's the awareness.
Breast cancer awareness. Yeah, for sure.
So now I feel less bad because it's the Flamingo collection.
Oh, good.
I really like flamingos too.
Flamingos are cool.
Now I have to have the collection just because of that.
Yeah. And the idea is all the different shades that are out there. There's shades of green, shades of blue, shades of purple.
I just want it all.
Neutrals and whatever. And, we have over 400 colors when it comes to rayon, or over 400 in polyester. Not everybody can afford to buy all those colors or buy the chest that's full of them. So it's a great way to get your collections, and they're in a nice little box that contains them. So when you're going to look for your pinks and what's available, you just grab your pink.
You say the words collection and box and colors and all these numbers, and years and years ago, Lee Caroselli, she carries this thing around, God knows how, but y'all gifted her a cabinet, and every time I see my friend Lee and she has her cabinet, I hug her and go hug her cabinet.
Right.
I covet the cabinet. I covet Lee, but I covet the cabinet. Yeah. And so I just want you to know that that's on my list. And if Lee's is ever missing, I didn't do it. I don't know anything. I haven't said a word. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. Lee loves our rayon, and she's just an amazing digitizer. I mean, you watch her stuff stitch out, and it's like watching somebody draw a design.
He's my mentor, and Walter Floriani. I sat at their knees, those two, and she is also Jeff's mentor. She just has finished up this Saturday a 3-part series on blending. But I mean, she's just, oh my God, off the hook.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody like her ever. Well, anyway, Yeah, Lee has your cabinet, and I want Lee's cabinet or my own.
Okay.
I'm going to buy one someday because that's on my list. That is on my list. That's
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
have.
I mean, that's probably, you asked earlier what's so fun about working here. Well, we have a thread room that literally has every cone. It's probably, I had to guess, 14 feet by 14 feet. So it's just 3 walls of thread.
Look
That's
at your
everything.
eyes.
So,
Yeah, look at you. You're like just went into heaven. Did you see
I
that?
got excited a little bit. Just,
I'm just like, when are we going to New Hampshire? Do you give
yes, you have
tours?
to stop and
Is
see
this a
us.
real question? Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Do you guys give tours?
I mean, I thought about it just
Absolutely.
now.
Yes.
You
Just
do?
let us know
Yeah.
when you're in the area. And
Oh, we're going to be in the area. That isn't a drop by. That's a went to it on purpose.
I mean, one of the
We're in
things
the
that I love
area.
about Madeira Thread, especially when I got started, is Madeira has the largest color selection out of any of the other manufacturers. And so you
Yeah.
can take that little color chart and unfold it 6 times, and you got your giant
It just keeps growing.
color spread. And you say, yes, I can match your logo to almost exactly.
Yeah. Well,
Amazing.
and then the Pantone cards has thousands. So it's really, I mean, we match as close as we can. And the majority of the people that are embroidering with their customers, they're fine with that. But yeah, some colors are a little more challenging to match than others, but Madeira will actually special dye for you.
Tell us.
There's limitations, or I should say there's, what's the word?
Minimum order.
Minimums. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, there's minimums and, things like that. So, typically your larger customers are going to do that. But, if a branded good manufacturer says, this is our blue, but we don't actually have it, Madeira can special dye that for you. And we
That's
do.
really
We
cool.
do
What's
that.
the time length process on something like that? Or who would somebody contact if they were wanting that service from you?
They can contact anybody in customer service, and they can gather the information, and from there they can do that. So timeline, I haven't looked at that in quite a while. So
That's cool.
you can do it 2 ways. You can do it with a dye proof, meaning, they'll send you a swatch over here, which, they're over in Europe, Germany. So it's going to take, a few weeks just to get to there. Or you can do it without the proof. So, I mean, anywhere from probably 6 to 8 to 10 weeks.
That's so cool. I didn't even know you offered it. So I like that. Do you do that in rayon and poly? Is it both?
Yep. You can do it for either one. Yeah. And
Yeah, I
probably
imagine.
soon enough for our poly neon green.
I imagine it comes a little ways from on the boat. It takes a little while to get from point A to point B.
Especially nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Might not get that this year.
So I'm going to catch up on a few comments here. We have Arnaldo. Good evening from the other side.
Hello, Arnaldo from Puerto Rico.
Ramona, I built my basic sets using your 12 color set. I keep them in there, nice little boxes.
Nice.
Belle, I own the chest of Madeira thread. I'm a little jealous. Sally, can I have one too, please? I think everybody wants chests of thread. Life goals. We have Josh Hip, who did the 3-part on shading. That was Lee Caroselli that did that with us. Sally, definitely want one of Nancy's cabinets. So your cabinets of thread are going to be really popular, I think.
We might need to stock up now, right?
Yeah. Belle says, wow, on the thread room that I want to see a thread room. And Mike Muldowney, best thing any thread supplier can do is create thread charts into the hands of graphic designers so they can get conditioned to pick from those rather than the Pantone book would make life so much.
I like that. Yeah.
I know, like when I consult with new companies, I tell them, okay, here are the guidelines of what can or cannot be embroidered. Make your logo that way. If it can be embroidered, it can be printed. Very much easier.
Nice.
So, so Nancy, what are some of the featured products? I know you were talking about the poly neon green, which I'm aware that now that I just realized that it's probably not actually a green color, but I'm sure it has a green color in there. But what are some of the new products or featured products you guys are coming out with?
So we'll start with that poly neon green. Poly neon green is a new product that Madeira has come out with, and the green signifies that it is made of 100% recycled the PET plastics. So you think of all those water bottles that are out there. They are taking those water bottles and turning them into polyneon thread. So this is a new product, and it's available in a limited amount of colors right now. The goal is
twice.
Yep, I know. This is not a winded one, but it does have the colors available.
Pretty soon that'll be 20.
Yep.
Beautiful colors, though. Really,
yeah,
you've got really some nice shades in there.
There are. I mean, this is, they're going to pick out the most popular ones that we know that sell in polyneon, and it's easy to convert it over to polyneon green color. So, like if you were ordering cones, which this is only available in cones right now. Normally, you do a 918 for our polyneon. Now you do a 718. And instead of the 1 for the 4-digit color number, it starts with a 6. So like 918 1800 would be 718 6800. So it's really easy to convert it over. So if you're wanting to try something like this, because everything is turning into the demand is huge out there for recycled products. I mean, I've even found a lot of garments out there that are made of recycled polyester. If not 100%, a portion of it is, because the garment has to be functional after the fact. And, an embellishment thread is different than, your shirt that you're wearing. Or maybe it's a bag or a hat or something like that. So, I mean, obviously it was an answer to a demand that's out there. Well, and certainly myself, I'm going to feel a little less guilty when I'm drinking my water bottle, my water out of my water bottle, knowing that, it could potentially end up as a beautiful pink thread.
I love that. Well, when you said that it's only available in spools, please clarify. Do you mean a cone?
Cones, yeah, the large cones. So the large cones are 5,500 yards.
Okay, so it's only good. Okay, but I like that better than the little. So I was like,
absolutely.
What size is it, Nancy? This is so cool, though, that you can do that. And Patagonia is the company that comes up for me when you speak of clothing out of that. Yeah. I think they make clothing almost primarily out of plastic bottles, if I'm not incorrect.
I'm not sure. I mean, that sounds familiar. But, I just did a little bit of searching around in the, the common apparel industry, that they offer out here that we all know. And, pretty much every one of them has something to pick from, that's made of the recycled.
Yeah, I know Outdoor Cap, when they came out with their 100% PETG hat, they sent those out as samples so that people could see. That's the only reason why that one sticks in my head, is because one showed up at my door.
Because you got it in your hands. You had a physical something. Okay.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, and you might not even think about it, but you're always going to have those customers that are going to ask for it for sure.
Yep. So I'm going to grab Crystal. I love my thread chest. Makes picking my colors for big cones much easier. Ramona, I provide extra color cards to my larger clients with notes on what colors I have in stock so they can see and pick their own colors.
That's good idea.
This is the one I wanted to catch before it got too far away. But will the green, not green thread, but the green thread, the poly neon green, will that be available in the UK?
As far as I know, it will be. They have the Madeira products there. I would be surprised if it's not already available. Yeah. So there's a couple different divisions of Madeira USA. We do have the retail and the wholesale division. So this right now is being offered through the wholesale division because it is that 5,500 yard.
Yeah.
So I would do a little bit of research, Sally, but I can do that as well and get back to Jeff and Jerry Lee and certainly get you that answer.
Great.
So now I have a question. Where do I mail my water bottles to?
Seriously, you guys ought to, it would be so cool. I mean, but seriously, what if you had things like collecting bins that look like giant spools of thread, okay, with the opening, and people could put their, oh my God, what a campaign. I'm so serious.
Yeah, I know. The thing is, we are so widespread, and obviously this is happening in Europe, in Germany, where that's all happening.
And we're going to send containers there.
I just hope that the water bottles I'm putting in my personal recycle collection in my city is certainly going, somewhere, whether it's making rugs or bags or
they make benches too, though. I mean, like there's so many uses.
Yeah.
But the fact that you guys have taken that step now I haven't heard of this. And am I just behind and I'm doing too much 3D printing or tool manufacturing or something? Because I have not heard of any other company offering this item.
No, I think that we are the first for sure that's done that. We've only had it here in the US for a couple of months.
This is great.
And, I think we're about at 80 colors right now.
Nice.
And the hope is certainly to do all of the polyneon colors.
Spread like crazy. This is like a huge movement. Congratulations to Madeira.
Yeah.
And to Madeira, I'd like to really have you share that, because that is a phenomenal effort on a corporation's behalf to do something like that, to try to take what you are already making and producing and take something that's already out there that can be reused and recycled to be once more reused and recycled. I mean, thank you very much, Madeira and Nancy, but thank you.
Thank you, Madeira. Yes, absolutely.
It's that up. We here at the Nerd Group are really thankful for that, because we use a lot of thread. So that's great. Yeah.
I'm going to grab a couple more questions here. Well, comments as well. So, Demetric, I'm going to say that I got that right. Hopefully I did. If not, you can throw popcorn at me from the comments. But I'm adding Madeira thread to my Christmas want list.
Please do.
Sally says there's a quilt wadding made out of plastic bottles too. Great.
So that would be the batting, I think, over here.
Yep. So Mike asked, do you know if Canso in Canada is going to stock the green, or will it be special order? So I think that's probably going to be I'll find out and get back to you.
I'm 99.9% sure that Canso will be carrying that for sure, because they are, one of our major distributors up there in Canada. So we don't want to hold it to ourselves. But again, like I said, it's a new product launch. Very slowly, they're going to come out with those colors. And I can't imagine that they wouldn't be. I will definitely double check on that and give you 100% answer on that.
Is Twigga Industries one of your companies?
Yep.
Also?
Yep. Okay, they offer our Madeira products.
Okay, so Elnor is also somebody that we can check with. That guy is
absolutely. I love Elnor.
I do. Every time I talk to him, he just laughs. We're gonna get him on here too down the road.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
So I can imagine if we can get that, we can.
Have you tried his new bobbin case, the metal bobbin case that he put together with Twigga? Not Twigga. He is Twigga. So he developed that with Toa. Metal bobbin cases. So normally you have your little pigtail that is on your metal case, and that's typically what breaks if you drop it too many times.
Yep.
And your machine's not going to run well without that, because it needs it to be there.
Right.
So there is a new one now that has what we have dubbed the slide guide. So check it out on our website. It's item number 602-1070. And instead of the pigtail, it has this more like heavier duty, I guess, mechanism that's up there.
But Elnor did that, eh?
What's that?
Elnor did that, huh?
He did that with
I've got to talk to Elnor.
You do.
He's an inventor too. Oh my gosh, that's it.
Yeah.
I gotta go. Bye. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So I can the power of the internet. So that's it right there.
That is it. Yep. So right up on the top there, you would normally see.
That's so slick.
Yep.
Dude, that's a brilliant thing. So Toa now puts this out, which is a really high quality. People only want Toa. They don't want those cheaper knockoffs. They don't, because they break. But to get with Toa, #1 in the industry, awesome.
There you go.
All right. I'm going to crack my knuckles. I'm going to burn through comments. Maybe. We'll find out. So Sally thinks, but I don't need cones that size, but I'll watch this space for developments. with it being a new product launch, I imagine that it's just
It
going to
won't
be
be long though.
time until you guys start offering the smaller cones, I bet.
Yeah. It's
For
kind of
sure.
like the hardback and the paperback. You get the hardback out there, and then the paperback comes. Kind of like that, I suppose.
For sure.
And Josh Hip asks, does Madeira have UV active thread in development?
No, we don't. I know there's
Please
like
do.
we had it back in the day, but it was discontinued. I think
Please bring
there's
it back.
I just think there's some like chemical issues like within those products that you really have to be careful of. You know, I
They
know
come
that
with a
was
California warning label.
right. Absolutely.
That's too bad.
Deposition, whatever it is. But you know what we do have now is a reflective thread, and it's a true reflective embroidery thread. So it is the only one that I have used that actually sews like an embroidery thread. So I can throw it in a 40 weight digitized design and it stitches out. You know, it's not as soft as your rayon or your poly. It's a similar, maybe it's slightly thicker than maybe your rayon and poly 40 weight thread, but it just sews so well.
Can you
I've
tell
used
that
it
in
with
the design,
3D. Yep, I've used it with 3D foam.
Okay.
I've used it with, the only thing I haven't done is freestanding lace, and I like to do freestanding lace with every thread that we have. And there's only a few that I haven't, it's been challenging to use with it. But so it's not a safety product. It's more of an enhanced visibility. And
It's a level up from metallic.
yeah, it's definitely, I mean,
metallic too.
yeah, and the reflectiveness of it, you can even see it during the day. You know, you put a flashlight on it, like with your camera or your phone or whatever, and it just
that's cool.
lights right up. So
that is cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Nice.
All right, so Mike says we get 10 cents for every empty water bottle we take in.
Wow.
Nice.
Crystal, I've been meaning to call and ask, does Madeira US offer a conductive thread? I found the HC40 on the UK website, but I haven't seen a similar one on the US side.
We do have that on there. So we have an HC20 and an HC40. So that's 20 weight and 40 weight. That's a pretty cool thread in what it can do. That's probably the one product that we have here that I have a probably bit of a challenge talking about it. Some of the things like Barradin has created these like interactive embroidered fabrics that where you can push buttons and you know it just that electricity goes through the thread into the fabric.
Wow.
So there's some pretty cool things with it. It's certainly a unique niche that would use that and embroider with it.
I mean, I could definitely say, because I have a cone,
yep,
that I just like the color. I mean, by itself, it's a very nice looking colored thread.
It's a nice goldish, metallic look to it for sure.
So I think you guys should just sell it as it's got that nice goldish metallic look, and just scratch out the conductive part and call it.
Nice well, I'm sure we have that color in one of our rayons and polys or metallics, whatever it is. Our new CR polyester metallic. I can envision a color there for sure, but and it'll be a lot less money. That HC is pretty expensive for what it does, you know. Yeah.
And we'll throw popcorn at Justin later. Maybe a bottle exchange type of idea for 5-cent credit for every plastic cone turned in. Cindy says, so since this is more of a plastic product, how does it iron? So the poly green.
Let me just check the washing instructions on that. I'm sure that's in here. So as far as ironing, I'm looking. Oh, there it is. So they show, I need new glasses and it's really small, but it shows the iron with the 2 dots. So I'm pretty sure that means you can iron it on medium. And I don't have a poly neon card right here. But I'm going to venture to say that it's similar to the polyester for sure.
I mean, polyester is essentially...
You can wash it in up to 95 degrees and that's Celsius.
So that's really hot.
It looks like the same washing instructions for the poly neon 40.
Cool.
Let me get my Google conversion out here. So yeah, that's 203 degrees Fahrenheit. In water, so I imagine you can iron it pretty well.
Yeah.
And keep it
The
soft.
3 dots is the most they would have on an iron. And I don't have the care instructions in front of me right now either. So that's basically medium. And I don't know about you, but I almost never iron or heat press without some kind of a
I try
press
not to.
cloth, or a silicone cloth for your heat presses and things like that. But ideally you want to you want to iron on the back of
Mhm.
embroidery anyways. But I always have a cotton cloth handy with my iron, because I iron on hot for high heat, pretty much everything. So as long as I have that cloth there, I'm in good shape.
Yep. And so Josh Ship says that Polyneon has the iron with the 2 dots,
Thank
which I would
you.
definitely believe.
Thank you.
Yep. And Mike says, yeah, it would be cool if the green thread became the normal thread. Good direction to go. Alnor is awesome, really, but I'm closer to Jeff in Ames, Iowa than Miss somewhere in Ontario. I have a Canso right here in Calgary.
So I guess he's not going to shop over there.
Yep. So Gold Reflective is prohibitively expensive. I'm not quite sure what you would have your reflective priced at. That's a tough question, I think.
Yeah, it is. For what it is, I want to say it's around $38 for probably about 750 yards, thereabouts. And when you think about what it is, it's a novelty thread. You could stitch out something really big with it. But the chances are, like, one of the things I did with it is I grabbed, people have been looking for reflective thread for the 21 years that I've been here. And, yes, Gnold has come out with one, Coates has one, and they're just not as soft and smooth running as the Reflect from Madeira. And for $38, per spool, the thing you need to educate your customers on is that you're not going to make a product safe using a reflective thread, no matter whose thread it is, no matter how much it costs. The thing that makes it safe is that fluorescent yellow vest or jacket and the 3M tape that's on there that reflects. But if you want to add anywhere that 3M is not, like I put a Madeira logo on one of the vests, you can enhance it. And that's the same thing with our glow in the dark thread. It's not safety, and you're not going to be creating something that somebody's going to stand out in the middle of the road and you're going to think that, that thread that has been embroidered on there is just not going to it's not going to give you the safety that you need, so buy the product you need, offer the product you need, safety wise, because 3M and, people making those vests, they know what they're doing. But you can certainly add to it without hurting that part of it.
So everyone in the comments, buy 3M safety stuff and don't bank on your embroidery thread creating your safety bubble. Just enhance your bubble with the embroidery thread. That's I'll say that. So Crystal says, ooh, looks like I have an order to place soon. Eric says the folks at ZSK have some impressive soft interfaces at the shows. By the way, great to see you all together. We have Marla stopping in. Hello. Eric, I'm always making everyone look at the washing instructions on the card. Honestly, great to add on to the internal tag or washing instructions when you deliver garments.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That is. And Cindy, when you do tackle twill, applique, you have to iron. Yeah, so, iron and heat press. But I always, like you said, I always use like a silicone sheet or a press. I don't typically iron directly on top of something.
Yeah.
Ramona, I iron on high heat also, and I iron embroidery from the back with laying on a wool press pad so the stitching doesn't flatten.
Nice. That's a good idea too. I like it.
Doing that. And Ramona, my new product line is garment based. So the business cards I'm making with every order includes instructions on the back of cards because you suggested something like that a while ago.
Yeah.
Josh Ship asks about IR thread, and I have a loaded answer on that one already, but I'll let you take it.
What is IR thread?
Infrared light.
Oh. I don't know about that product.
So here we go. IR is actually, it's an ITAR, International Traffic of Arms. I forget what it stands for, but it's military. So if you have an IR product that's made in the US, typically it can't be sent overseas.
It cannot.
Yeah.
Huh, okay.
And I know that because I know that. I may or may not have researched that and or have some, but
Not that we're going to tell.
not that I'm going to tell.
Yeah.
We have Eric. I love Reflective for adding logos, elements like on things like activewear, running garments, and peg gear.
Yeah.
And Fred, I joined late due to other obligations, but thank you. I will watch this from the start later. Awesome.
I'm glad you're here, Fred.
So yeah, I know I'm definitely excited for the I have 3 products that I'm excited to try, and it's the Reflective, the glow in the dark, the Madeira glow in the dark, because I've used other glow in the darks, but I haven't used Madeira's yet. And then the conductive thread, which I am probably the most excited about, to be honest with you. Yeah, I've got all 3 spools sitting here, and I've got designs for them. I just have to throw them on the machine. I've been moving recently, so just trying to get all that stuff out of the way. But I'm going back to my list of questions.
Okay.
I have to preface it when I look off to the right.
Well,
So,
I'm looking out the window.
Are there any other feature products that you want to bring up, or is it pretty much just because you've got the pink shades of pink that you're doing with the breast cancer awareness and the green?
Yep, for sure. As far as new products, we have easy backing and topping our stabilizer line of products. We've brought in a lot of new put-ups for customers, just to, give, again, that demand that's out there looking for certain sizes. The magnetic hooping systems require a little bit larger ones. So we've started carrying some 9-inch by 9-inch, that in our more popular stabilizers. I'm sure I'm forgetting some products out there. Our needle ease it's not a new product per se. We've had it for a few years, but I love that product. And I think it's a game changer. We strive to be a one-stop shop for embroidery, for sure. I think we've achieved that for the most part. And, we listen to you. So if there's, something that customers are asking for over and over again, we're going to try and bring that in.
And that's a really important thing nowadays, in my opinion, is being that one-stop shop that people can go, you know what, I need to order, and I can get it all from one spot versus get it from
and shipping is just ridiculous right now. How much it's costing, and you're not even getting the same service that you used to get. We were always good at getting our products to a customer in 1 to 2 days, and now it's like more like closer to 2 to 3 days, just depending on where it's available.
Or you watch travel, all over the States. I mean,
you do, yeah. And then just trying to get it, to the warehouse to start with is another story. But yeah.
So we have a product question, and it is about Fusible Tearaway. And I think I can already tell. Well, I don't know, maybe, because I've got Tearaway, but it's sticky backing from Madeira. Do you guys carry? I'm having a problem finding Fusible Tearaway. I use it for knits with a cutaway. I haven't looked on Madeira lately, but can you tell me, is it a product I can find there?
Right. So the stick-on is a tearaway, but it's not a fusible. So you're not applying it with heat. The only fusibles we have, which is the Weblon no-show fusible, which is, just like the regular Weblon no-show. And the other one is, it's an Applique Magic. So no, the answer is no, we don't have a tearaway that's fusible. I'm not sure that we see a lot of demand for a fusible tearaway. Very often I would use our adhesive spray to adhere that on if that's what I was using. And I'm actually going to talk about one of those projects I did with that actually on the Facebook Live coming up on Thursday.
So do we get a sneak peek of what's coming up on Thursday?
Want a little peek? Absolutely. So
We can
I
see.
had it set up here in my studio and had to make a little room for today. So I do actually have a couple here.
We
So
want to see if
thanks.
we can.
So that is
Oh,
something
pretty.
I very often will. I mean, I like embroidery to be art more
Oh,
so than
wow.
garments.
That's
So this kind
beautiful.
of reminds me of this is a design from Embroidery Library. And it reminds me of a black and white photo where they would just make maybe the lips or the roses red.
Mhm.
So it's very kind of subtle, but it's got the pretty pinks in there. So that's one thing that I did. Another one was the roses here on a pillow.
That looks so
And that's another
Victorian.
design from Embroidery Library.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of pinks in there and those roses to get all those shades.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So those are a couple things. Did a pillow. Probably the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show how you do 3D foam, kind of the steps of
I'm
embroidering with
excited.
that. Going to use that Puff Pro tool. I'm going to show that off, and I'm actually going to use it for my first time. And so I'm looking over here. What else do I get? Just bags and just a couple of different elements. The edge of a curtain is probably my favorite one. And that's where I use that adhesive on a tearaway. So going back to that question, I think that it was mentioned, I forget which fabric they were saying that was on.
I'll pull it back up on the screen here.
Yep, thank you. So for use it on
Knits.
knits with a cutaway.
Yeah.
So you're using it together with a cutaway. I think I would be more inclined to use a little adhesive. So very often on those performance wear, I will use that Weblon No Show or the Cut Performance. That's the woven backing. They're both nice and thin backings, which is what's great on those products. But a lot of times I will use a light tearaway on the very bottom because it does two things. The first thing is it helps you hoop because that tearaway grabs the hoop a little better. And then the other thing is it gives it a nice sturdy foundation to embroider on while it's at the machine. So it gives a nice crisp look to the design. And then I simply tear it away the bottom. So I always put that on the bottom and then I cut away the cutaway. But I think I'd be more inclined to use an adhesive because I wouldn't want it to be permanent to hold those two backings together. And the other thing that I don't do with adhesives or try not to do is I try not to spray them on the garments. I always spray the backing. And if I'm sandwiching a couple of backings together, I'd rather do that. But if I have to adhere it to the garment, just because it's a real slippery and slinky thing that's hard to contain, then I would definitely spray it on the backing. Then you adhere it to the garment. That way you just get less glue and adhesive on the garment when it's all said and done. So feel free to reach out to me if that didn't answer your question, and I'll be happy to help you out. And we can certainly find a product that's going to work.
How can people reach you then? If somebody was to reach out to you, how can they do that?
So my email address is nmini, M-I-N-I, at madeirausa.com.
Great,
you can reach out through customer service and, they certainly can connect us together.
Great.
Okay. So we have a comment here that says, I want to try frosted matte thread. And I pick out on it because I'm a huge fan of the frosted matte thread. What is your favorite project that you've done using the frosted matte?
That I've used frosted matte on. I actually have a couple designs here that there's a lot of designs out there that are, it's like watercolor, the designs. Mm-hmm. So the way that the colors kind of bleed out over the outlines that are in your stockhouse designs. And that's probably my favorite thing to do. I can't even pick one. Of course, I'm drawing a blank right now. But I love using frosted matte for that just because it lends itself so well without that shininess, going back to my artistic desires, doing watercolors in the past. I mean, it emulates a watercolor painting with no shine to it.
Okay. And I'm going to throw out CR Metallic too. So I'm really a big fan of the CR Metallic, mainly because it doesn't have that metal foil in it.
Yeah.
And so it runs really, really well on the machine. What's your favorite project that you've done with the frosted metallic? Or not the CR Metallics, not the frosted metallic. CR Metallic.
Right.
I'll get it right once.
Yeah. So the great thing about the CR Metallic, beyond, you know, being a polyester, it does have a really nice shine to it for sure. But it runs very much like a polyester thread. So, I mean, flowers are fun for me because I can hang them up on the wall and they look nice. Probably my favorite one I did was this really cool owl design that was, I think it was an embroidery library. They're getting a lot of plugs today. But it was a lot of outlines. But the nice thing about it was, you know, I did one with blue eyes and one with green eyes because a lot of it was just an outline of an owl, but the eyes just popped out. And that's probably the best thing about the CR polyester metallic is that it has colors. So you have your jewels, you have your reds, you have your greens. Actually, somebody's bringing that owl in right now. So somebody here is watching us. So I'll show that one to you.
Cool. We get
there you go. They heard you talking about it.
Morgan. Thank you, Morgan. So I'm not sure. This is the one with the green eyes.
Jeff, can you just put that on screen, please?
Let me push buttons. There we go.
Thank you. Oh, wow. Look at that. That's stunning.
Yeah.
What's that sewn on?
It's fabric.
It's on felt.
Is it okay? That is beautiful. It's got the calligraphy work that I love so much.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite types of work.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
So definitely, you know, the metallic silver, there's a couple different colors in there, but I mean, it's really the eyes.
Very nice. Yeah, those really pop huge.
So pretty. So he's hanging up on my wall in my office. So.
Oh, I like that.
I would keep him hung up on my wall too. I've got a few. I have this wall that nobody can see that I keep my embroidery on.
Well, you got to put that up behind you so people can see you.
Oh, but then they'll see it.
These trees up here are from, so I'm not used to working backwards, but
I know
my trees up here were from a Facebook Live last month, I think. Oh. One of those has the glow in the dark. The other one doesn't. I took down the one that was made with the reflective because it was behind my head. So it didn't look too good.
I imagine the camera light just lit that thing up.
It actually would. It would be. So maybe I should have left that one up there instead of the.
I don't know. I
think rayon, but that's cool.
So I'm going to go back a couple of comments here. We're going to grab a couple here, though. I need a white CR metallic, please. I don't know if they'd make a white.
They don't. The closest you're going to get is that light silver. And I don't know.
Is there a reason there's no white?
Well, I mean, I guess. There have been some metallics that are white, more like a diamond color. But this guy here, I can't get it. I mean, that's the chrome that's in the silver. If
that to me looks
white. Right. If you went with the silver, it's more of a like a sterling silver. So it's a very light silver. So for white, I would probably go there. Otherwise, you'll have to go into the FS metallics or the super twist, and you can get some whites over there for sure. I mean, the CR metallic is taken off quite well and selling well. So who knows? Maybe they will. I'm sure they'll be adding colors at some point.
So we have Michael Downey. Looks like hot rod pinstriping. Love that.
Not into cars, are you?
Letty says, "I love how the eyes speak to you."
Me too.
Belle, beautiful, very detailed. And this is the one I'm interested in because I have never tried it, and I'm curious if you have, but I prefer matte for sublimating on because it's not shiny. Have you tried that? Or are you going to try it here shortly? I know which one's going to be for me.
You're going to try it.
I'm most definitely going to try it here pretty shortly. I'm interested to see how that's going to turn out versus, because I've sublimated on the regular 180, I think it's 1801. Is the white or 1800? I can't remember.
So are you doing this on the thread?
Yeah, you sublimate. You sew your entire design white, and then you put sublimation paper down on it, and you press the design onto the white.
No, I have not actually seen that happen. But I could see how that might work better on the matte finish for sure.
Yeah.
So let us know how that goes.
It's pretty cool. I know a few people that manufacture patches, and they've done the entire patch sublimated on top of white poly thread. So it's something that's out there, especially like with crazy gradients that you're not going to get anywhere else.
Right.
Sublimation's the way to go, but it also has its downsides too. So something definitely to try.
For sure.
Jeff?
And Letty says that CR silver does look whitish. I used it on a fill on a wine glass. Yep. And Crystal comes back with the sublimation, comes out nice. I'm definitely going to try it. I've got a sublimation printer and I've got frosted matte white thread. So we're going to find out.
He has a sublimation printer sitting around.
Yeah, I've got that sublimation. I don't use it for a lot, but when I do, it's for something off the wall.
Okay, well, we want to see it now.
All right. So I've glossed over. I've asked all of my questions. So that's really
here, and we're coming up on our hour.
And we are coming up on our hour. Is there anything that you would like to talk about before we go, Nancy? Are there any products that we missed, or anything you'd like to tell people about coming up?
No, I don't think there's anything else. I think we certainly covered a great deal. And
good.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
We're so glad you could come. We're so really grateful.
That was a quick hour.
Yeah, I know. We have so much fun, and they're so informative that they really do fly. It seems like 15 minutes. So now you're doing a live on Thursday. Again, I want to remind everyone, it's 11 a.m. PST, 3 p.m. or 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Yep.
EST. And in the center of the universe where Jeff is, it's 1 p.m.
Yep. We can't forget that.
If you say so. I don't.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
I got that from the two regular guys. So you do have that coming up this Thursday. And then I guess we didn't talk about trade shows, but I did ask before we went live if you guys are doing any more trade shows this year, and you said you've pretty much done with the schedule except for you're starting to plan for next year.
Absolutely. When it comes to trade shows, you're planning 6 to 8 months ahead of time.
Absolutely.
So we are certainly looking forward to the Long Beach show coming up in January. So
I cannot wait.
That will be, I'm sure it's going to be spectacular.
It is.
We're going to be out of this holdouts world, and hopefully they let it fly.
We're going to the beach, man. We're going to the beach.
So Letty says, Nancy, thank you for the webinars that showcase Madeira products. I like to tune into them as well. It's very informative, because I know one of the things I struggle with is there are so many manufacturers of backing and topping, and that a lot of times it's like, okay, well, I know what it's called in this brand, but I don't know which one it correlates to in that brand. And so that's one of the things that's been really helpful for me personally, is when you're doing those, that I go, okay, well, that's what Madeira calls it. And so now I know what to look for on their website, because a lot of times it's kind of, which one?
It's all in a name.
Yep.
And if you do go to our website and go to the Madeira, or go to the Easy Backing site, I actually just created last month a 4-page Easy Backing guide that talks about from A to Z when it comes to backing. So check it out. Let me know what you think of it. And it's been a work in progress for quite some time, but I think it's very
definitely going to look it up.
Good.
And remember, you can contact Nancy directly at nmini@madeirausa.com, or you can call customer service and they'll put you in touch with Nancy if you have suggestions or questions. Nancy's always ready to help any of us. So we're glad to have you as a resource. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now we have a banner up there, so it's official. There's your email address.
I'll go run over to my email on my computer, and I'll be waiting.
And change it.
only until a little while, though. She's later than where I am. See, I'm just starting my day, and she's just wrapping hers up.
That's right. We're at 3. I only have 2 more hours to go today.
And I have all day to cause trouble. I mean, do things.
You poor thing.
That's what I mean.
All right. Well, that does take us up on the hour. So,
Thanks so much.
we don't really have any announcements for the
This has been
Embroidery Nerd. We
great.
don't have too much going on or coming up.
Thursday, I look forward to. I'm really excited for that live.
Yep. So I'm definitely excited for the Madeira Live that's coming
Yep.
up on this Thursday. And I'd really like to thank you, Nancy, for carving out an hour of your time to get harassed by us and our user base here. It's definitely really appreciated. And
we do appreciate your time so much.
Thank you both. Thank you both.
I'd like to thank you for coming. So with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'm Jeff Fuller from Fuller Embroidery Works. That's Jerry Lee Medeiros from Sunfacer Manufacturing.
Sunfacer.
And that's Nancy Minnie from Madeira, USA.
I don't know this backwards thing. That over there is Nancy over this way.
Yep.
Oh,
and we are all here with representing the Embroidery Nerd, and we'd like to thank you for your time.
We're so glad. Thank you so much.
Bye.